Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining Brooke and I here today.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Brooke? Um,
Oh, hanging in there.
hey,
Hanging.
we really are. We were both just talking about the energy that we feel, and it's been an energetic week for us for sure.
Or lack of.
Yeah, exactly. That has brought us to this lack of energy. But anyway, we have a very, and I say this all the time, but a very interesting podcast. However, it can be considered somewhat complex the more and more you dive into it. But really, we want to get into and briefly discuss the rays of light and what we know of them. For whatever reason, I've had this on the list now for quite some time, and it, like I was saying, it can get complex on depending on how much you get into it. And but there are some brief notes that Brooke and I would like to bring up to you guys just to make you aware of it, because it is, and this is a note that both Brooke and I shared, this is a tool for you guys all to use, like crystals, like meditation, like oils, whatever tool is out there. This is just another one to use. And these rays of light, there are 7. And before I get into it, I just want to tell you quickly, I did use several different websites to get some of this information. One was Chananda.org, or Chananda, CHANANDA.org.
Mhm.
The other is www.multidimensions.com. The other is www.ask-angels.com. And the last one is tileswithstyle.wordpress.com. So those are the websites that I use to get a lot of the information and to confirm the information that I got. And I know Brooke has some too.
Yeah, and to say, like, when Chris brought up to me the 7 rays of light, or the 7 rays of God, it actually was something I'm not familiar with. You know, usually we give you guys information that has come like directly to us. And this time it's more of like we're trying to get more and more tools out there for you guys to use. And so when we brought this up, you know, I was not familiar with it, but you know, that's kind of what all of this is all about. We're here to learn, and we're here to keep moving forward. And this is one of those other things that we just want to like present out there. You know, you guys want to dig deeper? Awesome. Just something else to throw out there to help us keep learning and keep moving forward.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And because, we want to help you guys. And we understand, Brooke and I both understand, that there's not only one way to go about this. And what speaks to me might actually speak differently to Brooke, and vice versa. So light is just another way of doing all of this. And
Mhm.
we're all just energy. And this is light is no different. And
Mhm.
so let's just get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
So with that, yeah, we're all just energy. Light is no different. And each of these 7 rays are one within the white light from above, the creator's white light. Now, when I work with people on an individual basis, and I have a meditation out there for all of you guys to use free on YouTube, a white light meditation. Well, if you think about it, like our sky is blue. And how does that happen? The sun reflects off of the earth like a prism, and the blue is just reflected over our sky. That's how we have blue skies. Well, these 7 rays of light are no different. When we bring them down with all that is into this realm, it is reflected like a prism in different ways. And most of what I have read is that archangels travel through these 7 rays of light. And it's like frequencies of music, in the sense that each each chord is a different frequency. So you have love is on one frequency, like a 528 hertz frequency. Light is no different. In addition to that, light, and Brooke, stop me anytime you want if you need.
Now, I was going to say, you mentioned the music, and I was thinking about the number 7, and there's 7
Right.
music. There's, just the significance of 7 with music. There are the, what is it called? The 7 notes of music. And then the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 chakras, 7 deadly sins, the 7 days of the week. But in music, there's your 7 main chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that now, and obviously an octave is 8, but I'm curious. I don't know anything about music, but I'm going to have to look at that because they brought.
Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong. It's the scale, the music scale, not the chords.
Okay.
The music scale. There's 7 on the music scale.
Very interesting.
Yes. And then, I mean, to go to that, you talk to Mozart and all them, and it's interesting what they use and the patterns that they use and the geometry that they use in those. So, but go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, and that's one that we're going to have, that we might have to talk about another time, because definitely one that I want to get in with you, because that is, they've discussed music frequencies with me before.
Yeah.
So just to give you a heads up, that's definitely something I would love to talk to you more about. But with the light, it is each ray of light has its own frequency and is all part of the collective white light. They all stem from the white light. And within the white light is obviously a representation of the oneness. And then from that, there are these different lights that come out of it. And each light is tied to a series of
principles?
Principles. Yes. Lessons, principles. Exactly right. So each light, is tied to these different principles that you can then use to overcome whatever it is you need to balance or to lessen more of, but more so really balance. So to give you an example, there is, and I have it listed as, I love your terminology there, Brooke, rather than mine. I have it listed as lessons. I love your principles.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And each ray of light is used or guided. I don't know if guided's the right word, but associated with an archangel, with an ascendant master, and then with these different attributes, these different principles. So the first one we'll take, for instance, the first ray is the color of blue, the first ray of light, associated with the ascendant master Morya or something.
Yeah.
The Archangel of Archangel Michael, which makes sense. I see Archangel Michael in blue all the time. But the principles that are associated with this color are will, your power, your leadership, your intentions, clear purpose, creative destruction, detachment, intensity, and direction. But really, will, power, and leadership, I feel like, are the and clear purpose being like the dominant ones there.
I resonate with that one a lot because the detachment with that one stands out the most for me.
Ooh.
And with each of these rays, and like with any energy, it can be a positive aspect if you're using it that way, or a negative. But I feel like when the detachment sticks out to me, but I feel like I use it in a positive way when I know that there's something going on that I don't need to be involved in, or that doesn't necessarily like need my energy involved in it. I'm able to detach from that.
Yeah.
So that would be like an example of using this energy in like a positive way, something that you're able to healthily detach from. But then, the negative way to use that energy is if you were to detach from something that you were supposed to be a part of, but you're like blocking it out, but that was something doing my research that, just like with all energies, it's like they're made for the positive, but it's whatever energy you're putting into it that can be reflected.
Yeah, absolutely. And you actually, you know what? You really do bring up a great point there. The destructive or the creative destruction, I feel you're right. I never, you know, with as much as I was reading about this, I did not look at it like that. And I think you're onto something there. There is some creative destruction that could be useful to our lives. And I mean, I have family members now that I have officially done away with, where I'm like, you know what, your energy is way too negative. There's way too much uh judgments that are going on when we're around each other, and I can't, you know, if you're not going to no longer carry those feelings for me, then we can't just be together anymore, because it's so intense, like their energy and their judgments. So yeah,
Yeah.
actually cut those ties. So that would be a representation of a creative destruction. Now with that,
Yeah.
there's much love there. There's totally love there. But
Yeah.
it's just yo, I can't take that energy anymore, nor do I want.
I didn't mean to jump off the tracks this early. Sorry.
I freaking love it. I appreciate it, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because I didn't think about it like that. So that's awesome stuff. And I will tell you what, there is a meditation that I heard from Doreen Virtue. Really, really powerful meditation about cutting cords.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes into the creative destruction part of things, because you are an Archangel Michael is used with his blue light to cut these cords. So in
Yeah.
this meditation by Doreen Virtue, she calls in Archangel Michael to cut the cords, and then Archangel Raphael, who represents green, to help heal those cords.
Aha.
Really, I encourage you to look that up. It's an extremely powerful meditation. And if you want, you can email me and I can certainly send you a link, because it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it really is. So now I don't know who that ascendant master is. I'm going to have to do more research on that one. Morya. And for those that are watching this, just to give you, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brooke, but I do have my notes up, so you guys are going to see them in the video, just to give you a heads up. But I need them on this one.
That's why I said we're just bringing the tools. It's like, I feel like up till now it's been given messages, but there's always more to learn, and there's always more out there. We just want to make sure they have the tools.
Totally. So I appreciate that mindset too, bro. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So the second ray that we have is represented by the color yellow. And these are not, to my surprise too, are not the same colors as the rainbow, which initially I thought they were.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they are not. And that's an interesting aspect to all this. But so the second ray is the color yellow, and the ascendant master it's associated with, or that guides this color, is Kuthimi, spelled Kuthimi, but you guys are going to see it when you look on the video. The archangel associated with this ray of light is Jophiel.
Jophiel.
Yeah, Jophiel. And the attributes are love, or the principles: love, wisdom, teaching, relationships, intuition, sensitivity, perception, clarity, attention to detail, curiosity, and synthesis. So some pretty cool stuff there. Now the love one is pretty interesting, because I think we might see that again later.
Yeah, and I think, and the love it's talking about is the agape love, the unconditional love.
Okay.
And so I don't know if, I know it mentions it again in another color, so I don't know if one is more of just love and the other one is more of the unconditional love, agape love.
Yep.
I don't know if that might be the differentiation, or big words, between the two of them. But yeah, the love is talking about the unconditional love.
Well, we know in the chakras, so like the sacral chakra deals with love, but deals with the physical aspect of love. And then the heart deals with the love, like the all-encompassing kind of love. So I wonder if this is like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, very interesting. And but I definitely like where you come from your perspective on things. It's really, really cool.
I just keep getting these zings, here I thought my brain was dead today, and
Yeah.
you brought me to life a little bit.
Oh, let me share something with you guys. And I think I might have spoken about this before, but if you are a medium or you're trying for communication, right? I always use the white light meditation, which is the all-encompassing one. However, there are mediums, and this ties into this next ray of light that we're getting into, which is the pink one. There are aspects when you use these lights. So if I'm working with someone to become a medium and working on developing their gifts with them, I will tell them to use a pink light, envision the pink light from above coming down, because that allows more spirit in. And what I mean by that is that when you deal with the white light, you're probably going to remain very high in the beings that you're getting. Whereas if you bring in the pink light, it actually allows more to come in, like lower, not so high on the dimensional scale. You know what I
But
mean?
I've never heard that before, but that makes complete sense. So you're like the white light, you're calling more on, God and the archangels. And then if you're a medium and you're working in the slightly lower realms, then you're using the pink.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, I never thought about that before, because I've always done the white light. I've always done the gold light. I've always, I've never thought about medium using the pink for just the ones right outside of our dimension,
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, and I'll tell you, I have used the pink. So every time I use the white, but there are times when I'll experiment with the pink, and I will definitely see differences in when I use it. So there was one time, and my heart just fluttered when I said that. There was one time I have prep work that I do prior to a session, and I used the pink light this one time just intuitively, and I was led to, and I did. And through the pink light, I saw the grandmother step forward, and I could see her on the woman's shoulder, which is not typical for me.
Yeah.
It was really, really interesting. And there are definitely times when I will be led to use the pink versus the white, or
Nice.
addition too. Yeah. So for those of you out there that are practicing, you might see some differences there if you use the pink and the white light. And I'll even say this: give the others a shot.
Yeah.
So we don't know. But anyway, the pink ray is associated with Serapis Bay and Archangel Chamuel, spelled Chamuel. Its attributes are active intelligence, again, creativity, adaptability, and motivation. Now, cool thing is, a lot of these archangels, Jophiel, I haven't worked with Chamuel. I'm sorry if I'm saying these names wrong, but Serapis Bay I've worked with. Obviously, Michael, Jophiel. I've worked with these archangels and ascendant masters. So
Okay, so what was one of the attributes of that one you mentioned?
the pink,
Yes.
active intelligence, creativity, adaptability, and motivation.
Motivation. So is a way that this can be used, like, so there's a day that you need motivation and you're not finding that energy within yourself, and each of these rays carries the energy. So is that like a time that you would call upon the pink light energy?
Yep.
And that's how you would use it.
Exactly.
You call. Yep. So it'd be nice to have this chart like in my house to go, okay, I need the motivation, go to motivation, look for that archangel and call on him, and then get that energy in there. Sounds good. I can do this.
So, well, I'll tell you. So the chart I got from Ask Angel, the ask-angels.com. However, what they don't tell you on that website is the colors. They only say that the fourth ray is with the Ascendant Masters. I actually did additional work and got the colors and then associated them with where they go for the chart that she used. But I will I'll link it in the not link it, I'll post it in the YouTube and other platforms that we're on, so that you guys can have that, and you have the chart right there that you can always refer back to, and it's in the video actually, so you can see it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but you're absolutely right, and that's one thing that, oh my gosh, you're totally grounding me, and I so appreciate that. Yeah, that is absolutely.
I love it because you're usually put together and I'm usually off the chain. I love it that this time I can see that your brain is all over the place today. Usually you're the put together one.
Yeah.
We
There's,
swapped energies.
yeah. There's so much going on with me right now. I have so much protecting to do.
Yeah.
So,
I know, just have a hysterical laughter for a minute of all the things going on right now.
really, I know.
All right. Whew, grounding.
And thank you for that. But yeah, so Brooke brings up a great point that, yeah, if you're ever feeling if you feel you need to balance some of these principles, these characteristics that are associated with these colors, this is all part of building your spiritual support team. This is all part of opening up those portals to allow these spiritual beings to come down and then help you in these different aspects, or with these different principles. That is the whole purpose of here. These are tools, and these specific rays, these specific individuals can be leveraged to help you in these different areas. So,
And this just makes so much sense because we were not made to go this alone. You know, we were made to call for help, and we were made to ask for help and guidance. And that's something that even I forget all the time. When I'm struggling, I just think it's me that's struggling, and I just think it's only me that can help me. You know, even I tend to forget that we're not supposed to go this alone. We weren't made for that. We're given help. All we have to do is ask for it. So this is a way to focus and ask for it.
exactly right. Exactly right. So, yeah. And yeah, you got it. You said it. That's beautiful. So the fourth ray is actually white light. But I don't know. I'm thinking that's not necessarily like, maybe it's golden white, because I know the white light is so probably maybe golden white light is the all encompassing, and then this
Is it the yellow? Is yellow the next one? Is
no.
yellow associated with another one?
Wow. No.
It
You have
might
fourth
be,
ray as yellow?
yeah, it might be yellow.
Oh, beautiful. All right, thank you. Because that did not make sense to me.
With the gold, you know, like, it makes sense, you know, with the gold or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, gold I do have associated with the sixth one, but
Okay.
yeah. But awesome. Good call on that one. And let me see. I'll look at that again. But let's go with yellow because it doesn't make any sense that I put white there. I might have had a brain freeze at the moment. It was late when I was doing all this. But anyway, the fourth ray will go with yellow. And really, as we all know, guys, there's no wrong. You know, there is no wrong. You can use these and call in these individuals. Yeah. So don't get hung up on the minute details. But anyway, Ascendant Master associated with the fourth ray is Paul the Venetian. Archangel associated is Gabriel. And the attributes are, oh, no, yellow was already said as the second ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Let me see here. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't understand. I'm looking at the website right now, and the people that that are watching the video will be able to see that, and they
Yeah.
see where I'm getting the colors from.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? We're going to have to look that up another time. I don't.
That's why I say the charts are available. You can just go to the 7 rays of light or 7 rays of God, and you'll be able to just click images and you'll see it. So like right now, like what we're saying, we're giving you the general idea,
Yeah,
and you can always look at the chart. And that way, when you find what you're going to call on, you know, to just look at the chart because they're all over.
exactly. And
Mhm.
and we're just trying to bring you this information. And also, like I was saying earlier, there aren't many. I have not seen many websites in all that I looked at that have the colors associated with them. Typically, they just say it's the third ray, the fourth ray, the fifth ray. I had to do some research there to find these colors. So
Yeah, but actually, that's kind of what I've liked about this podcast is usually we go in both with the stuff that we know that we are so knowledgeable about,
Yep.
but we're not necessarily learning when we're doing those. And we do sometimes after the podcast have a chat that we realize more things come up in us.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing about this one is, like I said, before you mentioned it, it wasn't a tool that I used. And now it has my mind. When we learn something new, our minds are growing,
Exactly.
we're expanding. And so I think it's cool that we're both kind of just pushing through this and learning something new. And I think more ideas are clicking for me as we go along,
Totally. Well, so I'll share this story with you guys. So there is this doctor out there named Dr. Ed Weed. It's a weird pronouncement. I'm sorry, a weird spelling, but it's basically edge and then weed with a G at the end, I think it is. Now, this is a woman whose story is pretty incredible. And in her ascension, so we've already said that each of these attributes are lessons to be learned within this lifetime. So these colors do have significance and their principles. Each one carries with it a different lesson that we're meant to learn in this lifetime. And this Dr. Edwige, she wrote a book out there, and she does all this healing and has a book out there. She does one-on-one sessions to help you guys. But what happened with her is extremely fascinating. So she was taken to Mount Shasta, California several years ago. And before that, she was in a car accident. Her third eye opened up. All this information started coming into her. And then she started to ascend rapidly. She was brought to Mount Shasta, California, with some of her friends. And when she did that, her friends, Dr. Edwige was actually guided to get out of her car. And her friends were like, no, okay, don't get back in there. We don't know why you're out there, but stay there. And then all of a sudden, all 7 rays of light, she said her friends were just in amazement, like, what is happening? All 7 rays of light started to flow into her as she was standing on the side of the road in Mount Shasta, California.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really a remarkable story. And from that, now she has been led to believe that this is her last life, but it was a result of her learning the lessons of all 7 of these rays and all the principles that are associated with them. She learned them all, and now this is it for her. She's done. Like,
nice.
She goes to another level. Yeah, that's according to her. Obviously, I can't confirm or deny that, but
yeah.
But it's a remarkable story, and her friends who were there with her confirm the lights that were flowing into her and visibly can be seen with the eye going in.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a remarkable situation there.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just a vessel of that information now, if she carries all the information that came along with them,
Totally. And she does have some a decent amount of information out there if you ever want to look her up. She's pretty interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
Check that out.
I know. I wanted to have a session with her before and I never did, but she's not cheap.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah. She's been blasted by the rainbows. That's not cheap.
Exactly.
That doesn't happen to all of us.
No. And I've been to Mount Shasta. No rainbows are hitting me. Yeah. Actually, that was a crazy story too. I don't know if I ever told you, but I will one day.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll pull it out of you after the podcast.
Totally. But I was guided there too. That was pretty remarkable. Anyway, with this 4th ray, and color yet to be determined, I'm going to put that here for you guys, to be determined. I have white next to it still, but attributes are beauty, harmony, artistic ability, clarity, purity of purpose, love again, understanding, and humility. So here we see love again coming up. And if white really is associated with, I guess it would make sense that it is an aspect of love, because love is in all of them, really, though. I don't know. Interesting. But anyway, we move on. The whole point here, though, guys, is to use the colors, to know who's associated with them, to know the principles behind them. That's really the crux of this, and to develop your spiritual support team so that you can begin to heal these different principles and attributes and just be the best person that you can be. So again, just tools. The fifth ray, color green, Ascendant Master Hilarion, Archangel Raphael, which makes sense. Attributes: healing, science, logic, intellect, attention to detail, searching, analysis, and wisdom. I guess that all makes kind of sense with being Raphael and scientifically mind thinking, you know.
Yeah. And I still am so blown away since, we brought up the scientific part of it and the concrete part of it. I'm still so blown away. I talked to so many people who have moved past it, but there are still so many people that separate anything that causes separation. No. Religion and science. If we have one creator, he created all of it and he created the way it all works. But you still have people that if you mention something scientific and they're religious, more and more that bridge is being gapped. They are still out there that think that those things are separate, and it drives me insane.
Great.
It's all one.
It really is. We are. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I love your thinking. Really.
But I will say, I have seen that gap closing. Like I have, that makes me very happy that people realize that it's not separate things, but there's a few out there. And on both sides, you have scientists that go, well, no, this is how it is. So if you mention something religious, it's not in the equation, and then, vice versa. But I have seen that bridge being closed. I think people are finally starting to realize that it's all together. One creator created everything, and there has to be a way it works. So I think people are realizing those two actually go hand in hand now.
I feel like there are a lot more scientists that are beginning to delve into the spiritual aspect of things.
Yeah. And I'm finding also on the religious side that they're starting to understand more of the sciences. So like I said, I think we are making leaps and bounds as far as connecting those two items. But I know in the past, there was such a division. If you were one, you couldn't be the other. And it never made sense to me.
Yeah, you're right. I actually am, with a lot of the papers that I write in school, I write a lot about, I add spirituality or aspects of spirituality in all that I write about in school, which my teachers tell me all the time, you better watch that. But
it is, you have to tippy toe when you work in the school, because I catch myself all the time and I have to try to change the terminology.
Well, what's interesting is that's when I incorporate the science into it, because that's when I'll flip the switch and I'll go, wait a second, but these scientists out here are researching this aspect of things. Because one thing that I say a lot is that the kids can feel our energy, and they're like, what are you talking about? And then I'll point out these scientific research things that have been done about spirituality and how people can pick up on your energy. I'm like, well, kids do that intuitively.
Yeah, I think these are the reasons those bridges are being gapped. They're closing up, so I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. They really are. So, all right, now on to the sixth ray, which is the ray of gold in color. Ascendant Master is Jesus, and right. Although I look at Jesus as more than just an Ascendant Master personally, based on what things I've channeled. The archangel associated with art is Archangel Uriel, and the attributes are devotion, forgiveness, peace, faith, gratitude, abstraction, ability to see in the light.
Forgiveness. I mean, that makes so much sense with that being attached to Jesus.
Totally.
And and that is when I'm looking at, because we're in times right now where these are things that we need to start figuring out. And growing forgiveness does so much. I have seen people that once they've forgiven, they have gone leaps and bounds. They've grown more in those weeks after a moment of forgiveness than they've ever grown in their entire lives. I just think forgiveness, and for me, I've never struggled with it. Oh my, I can forget, like I forgive so easily, but I have people close to me that I see how real the struggle can be for some people. And I just wish, it wasn't that hard for them, because there is such a freedom and a gift in forgiveness. But like I said, I have not personally struggled with it. I guess that's maybe a gift that I was given. But I see a lot of great people that this is one of their biggest struggles, is forgiveness. So call on Jesus, call on that gold light or whatever light was associated with it, because that is so big in growth, forgiveness.
What I have found from people that struggle with forgiveness is they hold on too much to the action.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, no, I can't get over the fact that so and so did this. But you have to look past that, and you
Yeah.
have to look at it as, okay, how did I grow from it? And and another one is look at it from a soul's level. How did I grow from it? And on a soul's level, that I agreed to that situation happening before it ever happened,
Mm-hmm.
and to experience that for multiple reasons. Maybe a karmic imbalance that became balanced, maybe a growth can be attributed to the occurrence. But if you sit there and dwell on the action, because you're not forgiving the action, you are forgiving the person. You're forgiving it, and you're not even forgiving it for them. You forgive for you.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a selfish perspective, but yeah,
Yeah.
let go of the action. Look at it from a soul's perspective, a higher perspective on purposes or reasons that could have happened, and then forgive yourself, for whatever, and try to move on. But if you continue to hold on to the occurrence, yeah, you're just
Yeah, I think forgiveness is such a biggie. And so if you are somebody who's struggling with forgiveness, maybe even step back and ask. That's the whole point of calling on these rays. Ask for help with it. Ask them to help show you what can come of this and the freedom that comes with it. So definitely, if you are needing help and you're somebody who struggles with forgiveness, try this for sure. Sit and call on Jesus and, or the archangel associated with this, and call on this light and see if they can help you, because there's so much freedom and forgiveness. So much.
there really is. It's such a weight that's lifted off. And if you can, I mean, Jesus really is a great representation of this, Ray, because you're right. If you think about that forgiveness, he walked himself to his deathbed, he
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't sit there and curse them the whole time, and at the end he was, Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. It's like,
Yeah.
the power in that is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right, Brooke. Just call on these spiritual beings for the assistance. It's what it is. This is another tool to use to help us get over the hump, to accomplish what we're here to accomplish. So beautiful. And the last one, the seventh ray, is associated with the color violet. Ascendant master is Saint Germain, and the archangel is Ezekiel. Attributes are magic, ritual, ceremony, transmutation, alchemy, practical understanding. Now, transmutation of energy is something that we have talked much about, and I have a meditation with Saint Germain and the Violet Flame for free up on podcast. I'll be honest with you, it's not the greatest recording. I messed up there, but if you can listen to the words and what is happening, the transmutation of energy, I'm telling you, that is 100% real. It is what I use to clear spirits from houses around the country with people that contact me. And like that alchemy, the transmutation, it is possible. It's possible. Like there is something to these lights when you use them, and we encourage you to use them, because there really is. Like, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, I use more of these than I thought I did.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yeah, the violet flame is a big tool right now with what we're going through right now. I know that's been Saint Germain and the violet flame is a huge part of getting through what we're going through right now. Like, it is taking some magic, it is taking some transmutation and alchemy. It is so yeah, that's a big power force right now, is the violet flame.
Yes, it is. And I will tell you this, so I do see angels, but it's interesting because when I see angels, I only see them in color. And yeah, I don't see like ascendant
But
masters.
now this makes a whole lot more sense.
It really does. I completely agree. And like, I've seen purple behind people before. I've seen a rainbow behind a guy before. But it's weird because ascendant masters, I see them as images. I almost see like their human form in my mind and show me. Except for Enoch, he showed me this white light being. It was really different. But yeah, archangels always come to me in color. I know when I'm seeing. I was in a job interview before, and I was sitting across from two guys, and in the middle of these two guys was, no kidding, Archangel Michael appeared. Seriously, this was probably about 5 feet tall, and this apparition of blue light. And in the middle of the interview, I'm looking around the room, and the guys are like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "All right, where's this light coming from? Because it's crazy. I can see this white light, and I'm looking, and I'm like, guys, do you see this white light in front of you? And they're like, Chris, what are you talking about? I'm like, is there a white light? I mean, a blue light coming into this room, And yeah, finally, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's Archangel Michael. And I ended up they offered me the job, but I didn't take it, and I probably should have. But anyway, crazy.
Hey, could have, should have. Can't worry about it now.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's crazy stuff. Do you see angels, Brooke?
No, I am telling you, it's like, and like we've talked about this before, and it's like, I think I try too hard.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I've seen lights. Yes, I see energy, like, as far as when I energy gaze at the sky, I see the twinkles. I was talking to my neighbor this week, and it's really cool because so she's a little bit older. She's the perfect example of, we are so lucky because all of these things, we have access to this information now. We have the internet, we have podcasts, we have all this stuff. But my neighbor doesn't do any of that. She knows because all the things that we research, it's actually all inside of all of us.
Totally.
All of these things that we talk about, that information is already in you. And it was so cool to talk to her the other day at the fence, because I was really trying to keep my mouth shut on some of the things that I've been going through, or thoughts that have been coming to me. Because and she even said when we first met, she referred to me like as an angel. She referred to me as that I was from Gaelic origins, and I guess that should have clued me in right there that she had like this deeper soul. But we're talking the other day, and we're talking about seeing things, and this is how the conversation came up. She said, "Do you ever see the spirals in the sky?" And I'm like, I didn't know that you knew about the spirals. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought, I knew she was cool, but I was like, oh, you're that cool. Like, you, all this information's been in you. Like, she's so cool about it, she didn't bring it up. I'm constantly bringing these things up in conversation, but I've known her forever, and she doesn't even talk about this stuff. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I look up and I see like the energy and the sparkles and the twinkles. She's like, okay, it's beyond that. She's like, look beyond that, you'll see the spirals. So I don't know if she's referring to vortexes, but it was cool. I kind of kept my mouth shut and let her talk, knowing that I know that she does not use the computer, internet, or I knew that all of her information is coming from inside. And she pretty much confirmed and verified this shift that's going on now and moving into the 5th dimension of consciousness. And it was just so cool to hear that from somebody that I knew was not delved into all this information.
Yep.
It was just so confirming, to hear all this from her. Totally. And in her words, yet they were still the same words that came into me, but just to hear it in her words, it was really cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I find it so fascinating, like you pointed out, that you've known her for so long and she's never really spoken about it.
Yeah,
That's
but it's like
it's really
I
cool.
feel like it's funny because I talk to friends who that we're all in this kind of spiritual journey, and like if some of them will talk about their children and they'll go, "Oh, I just wish that my son or daughter knew this. I just wish," and I want to laugh because I'm like, they came in, they already know all of this, but it's so common sense to them. And it's so whatever, just like it was for my neighbor. Like when I think back to my grandfather, it's so just what it is to them that they don't feel this need to go around and like push the information or to, there's times with my kids, even from the time they were even like 3, 4, and 5, they're like, I would have an epiphany and be like, oh my gosh, did you know this works like this? They almost look at me like I'm an idiot. Like, oh, good job, mom. You just figured that out. You know, so it's funny that some of the people that are quieter about this actually have maybe spent more time with themselves, or it's just so common sense to them that they laugh at us when we're like blowing our minds with this information that just came into us and we're like mind blown, and they're like, oh, congratulations, you finally got to that step. You know, and here I am thinking I was special, and come to find out I was late to the game.
You so you conjured a memory before when I was first starting, because my son is open, just like you're talking about, and
Yes.
I didn't even realize it. And I was telling him one time, oh, I see Archangel Michael as purple. That's what I kept saying. And he goes, no, Dad, Archangel Michael's blue. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I think it's purple. I'm pretty sure he's purple. Again, I'm just starting out, and he's telling me he's no, Dad, he's blue. And I looked it up, and sure enough, he that so many people say, yeah, he's blue. And now I go back to my son. I'm like, B, Bruin, his name is. I call him B. I'm like, B, how did you know that? And he goes, I see Archangel Michael all the time, Dad. He comes to.
Right?
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, like I said, this is a whole nother podcast that we talked about having about what these kids that are here now, like what they're really here for and what they really know and really what their purpose is, you know? So, but yeah, I think a lot of us older ones that are here, like we really came for like this lesson and we were here for schooling. I think these younger ones are the ones that came to be like, all right, we need to get a move on, people.
Yeah.
So they came to really like show us the way.
I think you're right. I really do. Because there are too many of them. I told you this story about the kid in school. He told me what I wear to bed. He told me I snore. This a kid
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I don't even know him. And he comes up and he told me how many highways I take to get to work, that I snore, and what I wear to bed. And all of it was absolutely true. And I'm like, how do you know that? And he goes,
Yeah.
I see you at night.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This was
That's right.
like an
These,
8-year-old kid.
and they're not mind blown by it because it's just kind of how they came in. Like, it's just, I mean, at work, I mean, just, yeah, working with the kids at our school, it's just insane to hear them say certain things. So, like, yeah, I try to be a good person at school. I think I come off okay. And I have my moments where I'm grumpy or whatever one day. But so many kids will, like, come up to me and I'll if I see something like kind of negative about myself or just about a situation, and they're like, Miss Matthes, like, you're of the light. Like, everyone sees it. You're of the light. It's like these kids know, like, have the way we explain energy to people and how energy works. It's like these kids know.
Yeah.
And they can walk up to somebody and know whether they are dealing with a person of the light or a person who's not found their light yet. You know, it's like these kids know. It's like my son Logan, only they're not fully aware of it yet, so they look at it differently. So like Logan, it's either he's cool with you or he wants to fight you. Now he's getting older to where he's understanding that that's just the energy he's feeling, that he doesn't necessarily have to fight you. He's just feeling that you're not in your light yet, you know? But these kids these days, let me tell you, the people that are putting it down going blah, blah, blah about these kids, oh no, they're going to show us. Totally. They're here to show us, but they're haven't quite found their way yet because they're still dealing with society and what we're saying to them, and we're trying to condition them one way when that's not what they're here for.
Yep. And it's people like you and I and so many people in the audience that are here to help. They're going to show us a way, these kids, for
Yes.
sure. But we are definitely here to help them foster this,
Right.
to not deny it, because
Yep.
obviously they are children and they still are susceptible to the density that's here. And even though they have guides and all, I mean, there is a purpose for us to be here and to try to prop them up and encourage that kind of discussion and talk,
Yeah. So when they talk about the 3 waves of volunteers that came in to help, see that first wave, which should probably be in like their 60s or so by now.
Yeah.
There was only a few of them and they had a really hard time here. But then like I would have been like that next generation of volunteer. And because they blaze some kind of trail of, of being different is okay and being this is okay. There weren't a lot of them to blaze that trail, but then us following volunteers, I think, are here to blaze that whole trail for, I think, most of this generation coming up that is going to really be where it's at.
I agree. I totally think you're onto something there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, well, that was kind of all I had for today. I don't know if you want to talk about anything else.
Well, we talked about keeping this short and sweet.
Yeah.
And like I said, in one way, I feel like I want to say more because I know there's a lot of people struggling right now. In another way, because we're in this energy right now, my head hurts, and we talked about keeping it short.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm good. I can always save what I have. But guys, hang on. We are going through some rough times right now. It's funny the things, when we talk about getting out into nature, we learn so much. I had a little epiphany yesterday about these hard times we're going through right now. And luckily my yard was not hit hard by the storm. And it's just, I'm going to use a little analogy of kind of like what's going on right now. Luckily my yard was not hit hard by the storm. But the only thing that happened in my yard basically was through the winds and the storm is all the stuff that needed to be shaken loose all the dead branches, dead limbs that have been hanging there. Those were all the things that were shaken loose in my yard. And, I was just thinking that that's what's going on right now in this storm. These energies are trying to shake loose all the things that we don't need anymore. And now my trees and my bushes outside, all that dead stuff is shaken off. And now that new growth is going to be better than ever. So that's just, I thought, a cool metaphor kind of for what's going on right now, that these energies can feel harsh, but we are being shaken and getting rid of all the stuff that we don't need so that we're able to make room for more light to come in and to grow a little more. But hang on, guys. I know it's been a rough ride. I'm feeling the lack of energy, but even that tells me something's going on, because when we get new energies in us, we do feel a little fatigued and a little low, because those new energies, we have to adjust to that inside of us. Yep. So I'm kind of grateful for feeling a little low right now. That tells me I think something really good is coming. So
it's a beautiful perspective, and thank you for sharing it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right. Well, then with that, do you mind if I channel? I have not felt anything earlier, so.
I know. So I was getting curious on like what this is going to be, and that's why I figured we'll go ahead and channel now, and then see if he brings up anything we gotta like polish off at the end.
Well, it's interesting because I say that, and immediately I can not hear audibly, but words start forming in my mind. So and. They let me know, yeah, we're here. I don't think we're not. We're here. So, all right, you cool?
Yes, I'm good.
They always start out with gracias. I never say it, but they always start out with gracias. They speak.
Would you say it? Gracias.
And
thank you.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know where that comes from. Grateful we are, my friends, audience members, Brooke, for the opportunity now to connect with you all for this. Yes, is still an inspired podcast that is meant to instruct and inform all those of the audience members on forms of light energy that are perpetually forming, flowing into this universal realm. These are aspects of truth, and we do sincerely encourage all audience members, individuals out there that are ascending to begin to use this light. It is an important aspect of the ascension process, the tool, yes, if you will, that can be used to grow, to manifest yourself to its highest form. These are ways that are constructive and positive, and thus used to grow your spiritual sense, spirituality, and your ascension process, to allow the maneuverability throughout portals to occur more fluidly without resistance. The lights offer these possibilities, these options, opportunities to present themselves, to allow for these portals to be created throughout your energetic vibration, and for the spiritual beings who are associated with each to begin to work through them. These are aspects of the light, of truth. And yes, it is a matter of accuracy when it is stated that the white light, golden white light, is the aspect that is all through which all light is created. White light, not golden white light. It is the white light that all our creator stems from. You, yourself, individuals stem from the white light, my children, and we encourage a peaceful understanding of these notions, for it is within the white light that all is encompassed, even the negativity, even the density. These white lights are, and has been understood, stated, that there is no separation between light and dark density, that we are all one with it. There is no separation. It is all beautiful love. These are just manifestations on a different realm, but all of the same light. The frequency at which they vibrate is much lower, and thus it is perceived to be different, separate. But that is reality not the case. It is absolutely factual that the light does spread to lower vibrational realms. We just view it as separation, when in reality it is one. These aspects of one are important to understand as you are working with light. And as indicated by Brooke, the intent that is carried with it is important, to bring good intent with it, to keep the frequency high, to keep the loving vibration to be felt high, is extremely important as you proceed along this path and working with these levels of light. Please be respectful of the light individuals that are representing each aspect of the light, for they are to work with you in a loving manner and to bring greater peace to this realm. It is for that reason we speak of the intensity at which you can begin to use this light, for it is not a simple manifestation of the mind. It is much more than that. This light can be used to create aspects of yourself in other dimensions and other areas of even this realm. This light work is very powerful to the human mind should you begin to leverage it to its fullest capacity. This is something that does require great time, but is, yes, very possible and very real. It is through these aspects of the 7 rays, the lights, which there are more than 7 that are perpetual beyond this realm. But when you begin to use these rays, you may begin to manifest much in the form of creation in this realm itself. It is through the light that this happens, and we are encouraging greater understanding of it should you begin to leverage it more. And we are grateful for the opportunity to communicate this message to all of you, my friends, my children, my beings of light. Go in peace and love always. We are grateful. Enoch speaking.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was interesting.
That was awesome.
Oh, no.
That was awesome because like I said, I've been struggling to find a way okay. I've been struggling with a way to make it make sense that there is only light. because we tend to think about light and dark. It's not that type of thing. It's that there is only light. And so he just confirmed that there is only light. It's like that it's all one. We talked before about, we tend to always make that human contrast of light versus dark, but that he confirmed that there is only light. We're just not we look at it in a different way when we talk about light and dark, but there is only light. So that's awesome that he confirmed that. And pretty much, what he was saying was that this, the 7 rays of God, that it's pretty serious.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I got from this.
And so, so there's probably some work we want to make sure that we've done for ourselves before we start into this. But then again, I still say, if you feel it, to start into it. And he was mentioning that there's actually more, and there's actually 22. So just like how we have the 7 chakras in our body that we talk about a whole lot, there are actually so many more that go up into the other realms. Yep. So the same thing is what he was saying with those 7 lights, is that there are actually, I believe it's 22, that once you start working on those, you'll like the elevator will gain access to the higher ones.
Yep.
So start working on those. But yeah, sounds like it's pretty like heavy stuff there.
Yeah. And well, the interesting thing that I found, now granted, I don't remember all of it, but the aspect of creating through them.
Yes.
That was really interesting. That is definitely something I'm going to have to like look into a little bit more, because I don't know what he's talking about there.
So I've been thinking about creating a lot lately, because what I've been thinking about is, don't be so heaven bound that you're no earthly good. It's something that's been coming to me a lot lately. And to me, what that means is, when things kind of started going down, I was out in my backyard about April, and I was like, okay, Jesus, mothership, whatever, like, it's time, come and pick me up, it's time, where are you at, like, come save me. And I heard, you don't understand, do you? And I went, well, I guess not. Like, what? They're like, you are the mothership, you have to save yourself, and you have to help save others. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be the mothership. I want the mothership to come save me. But that's the thing, is there are a lot of us right now that we understand that we are in an ascension. We understand that we are in a great awakening, and I am to blame myself for wanting this just to hurry up and happen, right?
Yeah.
But we have so much work that we have to do for ourselves. And you hear people say, like, there is no better than here. No, I don't mean that. Doesn't mean that one day we're not going to be in paradise and live happily ever after for eternity. We still can have that dream, and that dream will happen one day. But while we're sitting here, we keep thinking that there is better than here, when really what we're supposed to be doing is creating. We're starting that creation here. Yeah. And so it's very important for us to stop looking ahead, like I do so much. Stop looking ahead to the great things that are coming, but we need to be present in this moment right now and start creating that. I already see, if you look around at people or family or friends, it's very easy to see that we're not living in the same realities. Yeah. It's easy to see that, you see this person out here, like, skipping in the rain and twirling around. They're clearly not living in the same reality as the person on the couch clenching their hands, praying for Jesus to come get them right now. And it's been given to us that even as of right now, right this second, you can choose the reality you want to live in. The kingdom is inside of us. And it's up to us to choose the reality and start creating the reality that we want to live in. I know that you can't just go out and quit your job. Or can you? It's up to you. You can start now in creating the reality that you want to have. even if it's just in mindset, because, you know, somebody can not like their job, but you change your whole perspective. You know, it's like, oh, well, my passion is actually going outside and running to the forest, but this job is creating a financial stability for me to make me have time to go run around the forest. So there's just all perspective. Like, I don't know if that was the best idea to use or not, but just change your mind, you know, change your perspective and the way you look at things. But you can start even as close as today, creating and starting to live in a whole different reality, you know, instead of just waiting for the other reality. And I'm one of them. I keep waiting. As much as I'm trying here, I'm like, can't we just blink out tonight? It's okay. Just blink me out. Blink me out. But I know that they keep telling me, like, stay in your moment. I mean, they actually told me in a writing, sit down and be patient. They told me to sit down. So I'm like, so I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's being in this moment right now and creating. You know, what do I want to see in the world? What do we want to see in the world? How do we want things to be? What do I want my reality to be? And you just start there. You know, just ask yourself the question and start there, and then start slowly working to what you want your reality to look like.
That's deep. That is real. Holy moly, that's deep. That's awesome, bro.
Dude, Enoch started it. He went and got all deep. How dare he? But yeah, you can have it right now. Like I said, look around. Like it's clear to me that when I'm out, I'm already in a different reality than most people, you know, because I'm the one out there just, I don't know, like people go, I was with somebody in the grocery store and she was like, it was one of my older friends. And she was like, you know, she's like, did you ever just want to like sing and dance up and down the grocery store aisle? I'm like, yeah, my daughter and I do it all the time. Like, we don't just want to do it. Like, we do it. Like, let Whitney Houston, I want to dance with somebody, come on. Me and my daughter are going nuts up and down the grocery store aisle, dancing with the cart, spinning around. Do it. You know, just do it.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You can free yourself, you know. I know we keep looking for those bigger things to come and save us, but you can start. We can start. And
you can use these rays to
yes,
that. Yep.
To ride that elevator on up into information. Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brooke. I appreciate that. That's deep, man. That's really deep. Love it.
YOLO, everybody. Just YOLO.
Oh, man. All right. Stuff. You ready? Yeah,
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, thank you, Brooke. You are awesome, and we certainly appreciate all you guys.
You are awesome, and you all are awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, hold that right there, and then we'll say goodbye. Okay. You know, I remember a long time ago, somebody saying to me is, "Oh, why do you think you're so awesome?" Like in a kind of condescending way. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, the thing with me, it's not just that I think I'm awesome. I want everybody else to think that they are awesome, you know? And so that's the thing. It's not just, I want everybody to know and everybody to feel that they are amazing. So feel it. I just said it. Feel it.
Believe it. Yes.
All right. Now I'm full of it. So we better just go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I will see you all later. And you obviously, bro. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.